Septal, and Cincino, and the last two being Z-Move users as well. So pretty dope. My opponent's coming into this game with a 1-2 record with a -6 differential, and we're coming into this game with a 2-1 record and a +3 differential. So not separated by too much, as is most of the league, not separated by much. So my team hasn't changed yet this season. Tapu Koko, Mamoswine, Hoopa Unbound, Z-Move, Bronzong, Z-Move, Volcarona, Serena, Seismitoad, Mienshao, Mandibuzz, Z-Move, Mini Hippo, and Mega Garchomp. So yeah, pretty fun team so far, and gonna make the best out of this week as well. So starting off the team, I have Tapu Koko, which outpaces his entire team, including his fastest Pokemon, which is Mega Pidgeot. However, I'm only running 236 EVs in speed with a modest nature, so I'm only setting at 255 speed, and this is because I expect him to speed creep certain Pokemon on my team with Mega Pidgeot, like for example, Mega Pidgeot and Heliolisk, and Septal if he was to bring it, and Cincino if he was to bring it. Heliolisk and Mega Pidgeot if he were to bring those. I expect them all four to be outpacing my Mienshao, which is my fastest Pokemon outside of Tapu Koko. With doing that, he would outpace Mienshao, he would outpace Hoopa and Mamoswine, Volcarona, etc. And that's where I expect, him to sit at. Mienshao sets at 239 speed, so I expect my opponent to be, around 340 to 350-ish speed. So I have my Tapu Koko actually sitting at 355 speed, which allows me to outpace his entire team, assuming that, he doesn't have a max speed Mega Pidgeot. Otherwise, I outspeed his entire team 100% anyway with this speed investment, outside of Septal and Cincino and Mega Pidgeot. Which, like I said, I don't expect them to be max speed. I expect them to be more so outspeeding Mienshao. And this allows me to go modest, and with my Life Orb, allows me to put out the most damage output possible, which is super dope. The EVs elsewhere don't really matter. 16 HP, 4 SPDF don't really make a difference in anything. But yeah, modest max special attack, Life Orb, Tapu Koko with the Electric Surge, boosting my Thunderbolts to unmeasurable. Just kidding. Unmeasurable damage outputs. But yeah, so we got the Thunderbolt for Slowbro, Heatran, Conk, Mega Pidgeot, Cofagrigus, and the Cincino, where Dazzling Gleam will hit, Kieran Black, Tapu Bulu, Donphan, Heliolisk, and Septal. And Grass Knot hits Donphan even harder than Dazzling Gleam does, which is why I brought it. And I bring the Hidden Power Poison so that I can bop the Tapu Bulu. I do expect him to bring a Choice Scarf variant of either Kieran Black, Tapu Bulu, or Heliolisk. But we'll have to play around that. I'll have to, gauge the damage and the sets and whatnot, and eventually figure out which one's the Choice Scarf and work around that. So outside of Choice Scarf users and max speed Septal, Cincino, or Mega Pidgeot, I will be outpacing everything and doing lots of damage with Life Orb, Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, Grass Knot, and Hidden Power Poison. Hopefully can do exactly what I need to do. I could have run Hidden Power Ground, but bopping the Bulu and winning the Terrain War was a little bit more important than beating Heatran, which is an unlikely bring anyway, since I do have Mamoswine, Mini Hippo, Seismitoad, Mega Garchomp, amongst others. So Heatran's not that likely to ever bring, and the Hidden Power Poison, 4 moves works perfectly here, so not really too worried about it. And hopefully Tapu Koko can put in the work. It's more of a support type role in this match though. Next up we got our Mamoswine, which is a Choice Scarf variant, and what Choice Scarf allows me to do is outpace things like Kieran Black, Mega PGI without going for like Ice Shard. Lets me outpace the Heliolisk, catch it off guard with an Earthquake, as he maybe wants to stay in and catch me off guard with a Surf or a Specs Hyper Voice or something like that. Knockoff is nice, hits the Slowbro and the Pythagoras, as well as getting rid of items off of things like Kieran Black, Tapu Bulu, specifically Choice Scarfs that I would like to get rid of. I do set at enough speed to where I'll be at 279 speed, meaning I outpace max speed Heatran and everything below. So that's pretty cool. In case he brings it like a Choice Scarf Heatran or something like that, I'll be able to outpace it, knock it out with the Earthquake, knock out Scarf Tapu Bulu with Icicle Crash, do a lot to Slowbro and Pythagoras with Knockoff, and maybe catch the Kyurem off guard. After Rock's Choice Scarf Superpower should pick up the KO unless he's bulky, so that's pretty cool. Thick Fat also allows me to take hits from Kieran Black and Heatran. Well, fire type attacks from Heatran, not steel type attacks. But he might not be afforded the extra option if he does bring the Heatran. But I don't expect Heatran to come, so there's that. So we got Life Orb, Tapu Koko, and Choice Scarf Mamoswine to start off this offense. Oh, speaking of offense, his team is very powerful, and I don't have the best switch-ins to Kieran Black as like a max attack Life Orb Shadow Claw 2-hit KOs Bronzong, so that's not the best check. And so I decided to bring offense versus offense, expecting my opponent to bring offense as well. So I bring a very offensive team this week. So Life Orb Koko and Scarf Mamoswine, and I'm going to pair it with this very cool Hoopa Unbound set I came up with. That works well in this match with Substitute and Salic Berry. So Sub Salic. So eventually that after a sub, I could potentially pop a Salic Berry, my Salic Berry, and get to +1 speed. I got the Power Up Punch to potentially pick off a weakened Heatran. Could pick off a weakened Kieran Black, Donphan, etc. Anything that's really slow that I could pick off, and don't really have to worry about them switching out or threatening me with a hit. I can click the Power Up Punch and get +1 attack, and then the Hyperspace Fury and the Zen Headbutt is just going ham on this man's team. Hyperspace Fury hits everything outside of the Bulu, I think, the Bulu and the Conkeldurr, in which Zen Headbutt hits pretty hard itself. So yeah, looking very, very forward to that. Hopefully, can put in the work, and after my Salic Berry pops, I can actually take an item like leftovers from Slowbro or something like that with my Magician. So the fact that I could potentially pop my Salic Berry and then steal an item like leftovers and slowly get residual. And I'll be outpacing, like I said, up to Choice Scarf Heatrans. So that's super dope. Next up, we have Bronzong, which is a leftovers variant with Levitate, Gyro Ball, Earthquake, Toxic, and Stealth Rock. Literally only running the Earthquake because he has Heatran as a switch in. I guess it's Heliolisk a little bit harder than Gyro Ball, but yeah, Gyro Ball is going to be the main move to be clicking outside of getting my stealth rocks up, and maybe a poison and things like Kieran, Bulu, Slowbro, Donphan, Pythagoras, etc. And so on. So this thing can take hits from Kieran Black pretty well as long as it doesn't have Shadow Ball. Takes hits from Bulu as long as it's not banded. Avoid hits from Donphan, and resist hits from Heliolisk and Mega Pidgeot. So pretty cool mon, and Cincino and Sceptile as well. Although I don't expect those two Pokemon to come. I think that's about it for Bronzong though. Just about it. Yeah. Can toxic, just mainly let her toxic stall. Not stall, but to whittle things down with toxic. Put it, better in range of things like Volcarona and Hoopa, and the rest of my offense for that matter. So, yeah, that's pretty dope. Next up, we got Volcarona, which is going to be a leftovers variant this week, not running the Z move this week. Got the Flame Body, Quiver Dance 3 attacks with Dual Stab and the Hidden Power Ground for the Heat Rant. Even though I don't think it's a bring versus my team, it's still an option, specifically to check Volcarona. Could be like a Air Balloon or Shuka Berry variant, in which I could pop a Air Balloon and break a Shuka on a 2-hit KO. And shouldn't be able to 2-hit KO me unless he's like Rock Slide or something weird. Ancient Power shouldn't be able to knock me out after a Quiver Dance, unless he's Specs or something. Yeah, so I think, what is my speed on this? I think it's the same as everything else. It outpaces Heat Run, so I can always outpace that unless it's Choice Scarf. And even with a Quiver Dance up, I can outpace it, even if it is Choice Scarf. Enough special attack investment to make sure that things like Bulu, Slowbro, that aren't like Spadef are OHKO'd by Fiery Dance and Bug Buzz respectively. Heat Run should be 2-hit KO'd by Hidden Power Ground unless it's Spadef. At plus, if I can get like a +1 with a Quiver Dance and get a Fiery Dance boost, Kieran Black drops to a +2 Fiery Dance with this special attack investment. And then literally the rest of his team would drop. Like after Quiver Dance, he doesn't do well against Volcarona outside of Heat Rand, which I'm packing the Hidden Power Ground for. It just shows you how much more potent Volcarona is in this format than it is in OU. Because you can see which move slots do you need to fill up, and what do you need to fill them up with. Do you need Psychic, Psychinium Z? Do you need Bug Buzz, Bloom Doom maybe? It's all dependent, I suppose. But yeah, it's just a nice Volcarona set, should put in the work. And next up we got our Mandibuzz, which is a Foul Play, Taunt, Toxic, Roost set. Mostly defensive with some Spadef investment. Can take hits from Bulu, Banded Bulu, doesn't like to but can. Takes hits from Slowbro, Heat Ran, Donphan, Conkeldurr, Mega Pidgeot pretty comfortably. Eats up hits from Pythagoras, can taunt it, prevent it from Will-O-Wisp and Toxic Spike, and etc. And takes hits from Heliolisk decently well, outside of like Thunderbolt and stuff like that. Pretty good check to Sceptile as well. And just has like really nice longevity with Roost and Leftovers. I do think I'm the Overcoat ability. I think I fixed this before the match, but yeah, it does say Big Pecs on screen, but that is a mistake. So yeah, nice and Mandibuzz here. The idea is to just use the synergy between Mandibuzz and Bronzong to check my opponent's offense as best I can, and then use the rest of my offense to beat my opponent. The thing is, my opponent's offense can beat my defense, and my offense can beat my opponent's defense, and my offense can beat my opponent's offense, as well as my defense beating my opponent's defense. So I have a slight edge, in my opinion, when it comes to defense beating defense and offense beating offense. But when it comes to offense beating defense, I think it's dead even. I think using Life Orb Coco, just a speedy mons like Choice Scarf, Mammoth Swan, and Life Orb Coco to chip things down as well as Bronzong and Mandibuzz continuously taking hits for the rest of the team, will help Hoopa Unbound and Bocarona be in a very solid position to potentially end the game with a Quiver Dance or a Salic Berry boost. Maybe not even, might not even have to have a boost. It could come down to something like a weakened Bulu, a weakened Kieran Black, a weakened Slowbro, and a weakened Cofagrigus versus Hoopa and Mandibuzz and Coco or something like that, and then Hoopa Unbound could just Hyperspace Fury through my opponent's team, which would be so dope. This is the first time I've brought Hoopa Unbound this season, I do believe, and yeah, hoping to show it off pretty well. It was recently used in the GBA quarterfinals by Envy, and he showed off a Trick Room variant, which is super dope. So I'd like to show off my own variant here to show how how versatile Hoopa can actually be and how powerful it is. If you look at its stats, with a Jolly Nature and max attack, it has 419 attack points, which is just incredible. It's the same as Mega Dance, which is insane. So yeah, speedy mons, setup mons to get to become speedy, and then synergize defense to keep my opponent's offense at bay the best I can. I don't expect to 100% wall my opponent because he has things like Kieran Black, Tapu Bulu, Conkeldurr, Mega Pidgeot, etc. So I'm just trying to out-offense him and then maneuver around his offense. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and hop into the replay, and we'll be right back. Alright, so here we are with the replay, and my opponent chooses to bring the Kieran Black, Tapu Bulu, which was expected, Donphan, Slowbro, Cofagrigus, and the Heatran. So the unexpected Heatran coming. I knew it could possibly make an appearance. He does have the grassy terrain to help support it, but on the off chance that I run Earth Power Seismitoad or Earth Power Mega Garchomp or even Earth Power Mamoswine, could catch him off guard and bop him, since grassy terrain doesn't affect that. But yeah, so it does bring the Heatran. Feeling pretty confident about the matchup, to be honest, especially when I look at his team. If I can just catch the Donphan with a Grass Knot, then Tapu Koko can go in. Once I identify which Pokemon could be a potential Choice Scarf user, Kieran Black, Bulu, and Heatran are the most likely options, with Bulu being the most likely option, since Scarf Woodhammer does a lot of damage versus my team with the grassy terrain up. So yeah, he has two potential Stealth Rockers in Donphan and Heatran, Rapid Spin support in Donphan. He has the ability to Roost Up, Slack Off, and Pain Split with Kieran, Slowbro, and Cofagrigus, and then Heatran and Tapu Bulu and Donphan, need something like Leftovers and Grassy Terrain Recovery to, for longevity and whatnot. So as long as I can weaken Donphan, identify what Pokemon could be Choice Scarfed, I think Tapu Koko can really put in the work with the mons that he brought. If I can weaken things like Donphan and maybe eliminate Kieran Black, then Hoopa Unbound can really go in as well. So that's pretty dope. However, I'm going to lead with Bronzong to get my Stealth Rocks up. If he leads Heatran, I know I can live one hit and just get my Stealth Rocks up, as it pressures things like Kieran Black, pressures Donphan to Rapid Spin, and I could probably hard switch into something like Mamoswine or Mandibuzz and just start chipping away at the rest of his team. If he leads Donphan, I do have the levitate ability, so he can't, click Earthquake to knock me out. If he leads Kieran Black, I can click Gyro Ball and see what kind of damage I can do. Also, I could predict the Heat Rain switching and just click Earthquake. And if he switches the Heat Rain in on a Gyro Ball, then he's likely going to scout for Earthquake and switch out to Bulu, where I could potentially get a Toxic off on it, so that would be pretty cool. But yeah, nonetheless, I'm going to lead with my Bronze on here and get my Stealth Rocks up. My opponent leads with Heat Rain. So at this point, I was thinking maybe weakening Heat Rain is one of my better plays here, since it's going to be a nuisance because of the grassy terrain. And I didn't prep all that much for it since my team naturally matched up well for it. So I'm just going to click the Earthquake here, knowing I can leave any one hit. My opponent goes for the Earth Power, predicting me to be Heat Proof instead of Levitate. However, I prove to be Levitate instead. I'm going to click the Earthquake here and show him that he's not Levitate. I get a critical hit, which I never even asked my opponent if it mattered, but I did immediately offer a restart. Restart, same leads, and same turn, but my opponent said nah. He said he accepted his fate. So yeah, we do continue on the battle the way it is. And so yeah, nice Earthquake crit there to start the match off, and my opponent goes into Cafagus. My switching should be Mandibuzz, but on the off chance that he throws off a Toxic, predicting my switch, I don't want Mandibuzz to be Toxic because it does so well against Slowbro, Bulu, Donphan, and Cafagus itself. So I'm actually going to stay in here and just set up my Stealth Rocks, predicting him to do anything other than clicking something like, I don't expect him to go for Toxic Spikes since I do have Mandibuzz, which could come in and defog. I don't expect him to go for something like Shadow Ball, since Mandibuzz could come hard in. I expect the Toxic or maybe a Will-O-Wisp. So I'm just going to step my Stealth Rocks up here as my opponent clicks the Knockoff and gets rid of my leftovers, which is a bit unfortunate, especially since we've gotten rid of Heat Rain, and this thing can be such a good check to Bulu. My opponent sets up a layer of Toxic Spikes here as I set up my Stealth Rocks. Bit unfortunate, but here I'm going to hard switch into Mandibuzz to defog. But if you remember from the team builder, I actually don't have defog, and I forgot that in the match. So once he set Toxic Spikes up, and I hard switched into Mandibuzz to defog away and realized I didn't have defog, things got actually a little bit more complicated. I had to change up my plan, since my plan was originally to get Hoopa in a position to set up subs, and to the point that my Salad Berry pops. I can no longer do that because I would be in the range of dying to Toxic damage by then. So yeah, I'm a bit a disadvantage now, but nothing that we can't just change our game plan and get around. So we throw off a Toxic here as the Donphan comes in, likely to Rapid Spin. So I'm just going to throw off a Foul Play. As he does Rapid Spin, gets rid of the rocks. Now my opponent switches into the Kieran Black here, as I think I throw off a Toxic, but I miss. Yeah, very, very unfortunate miss there. Kieran Black should have been taking Toxic damage, should have been taking rocks damage, but I assume that's justice for the Heat Rain crit, so I can't complain too much. So he goes for the Ice Beam as I bring in my Bronze on. I take nothing, throw off a Gyro Ball just in case he wanted to stay in or sub up or reveal Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw. He goes into the the Cafagus, and sets up another layer of Toxic Spikes as I get up my Stealth Rocks once again, forcing the Donphan to spin if it comes back in. So he goes for the Pain Split here as I switch out to my Mandibuzz. Now I have a couple plays here. I can Foul Play, I can Taunt, I can click Toxic, predicting his switch. A couple different things I can do. He does switch into the Donphan as I just throw off a Toxic, hoping that he goes into his Kieran Black once again, but he doesn't. I can afford to throw off Toxics and Foul Plays versus things like this and hope I can catch the Kieran, because I have Bronzong to switch into the Kieran. So far, he hasn't shown anything to hit my Bronzong with, so I'm afforded to just keep using Bronzong as a check. So Donphan gets up rocks and goes down to the toxic poison. So now it's a little bit more problematic. I'm not sure why I didn't click taunt there to prevent stealth rocks from going up. I kind of had it in the back of my mind that Donphan was probably not rocks, and actually Heatran was. But I should have been safer there and just clicked taunt. It would have prevented rest. It would have prevented him switching out and setting up, and it would have prevented stealth rocks as well. So now Volcarona has to take a whole 50% on switch in and gets poisoned. Very unfortunate, especially for the late game. So he's got the Kieran Black in here, and he's likely to click Ice Beam here. So I'm just going to go into the Bronzong. He actually clicks Dragon Claw, and it is about the same as Ice Beam does. And I can just throw up my Stealth Rocks here, and now we both have Stealth Rocks up, and there's no way to get rid of rocks now. So I'm just going to hard switch into my Mana Buzz once again, and he goes for the Shadow Ball. Gets a Spidef drop. Bit unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Not yet, anyway. Here he goes into Slowbro, as I'm going to roost up. I'm hoping that I can throw off a Toxic here and catch him, and I do. So thankful for that. He goes for the Tri-Attack, catching me by surprise here. I'm not sure what the idea behind the Tri-Attack is, but it seems like Bronzong would be a good check if I were somewhat healthy. But Mana Buzz should be fine as well, especially if I didn't have a Spidef drop. So here I throw off a Toxic, hoping to catch the Kieran Black on the switch in, and he does 32% and gets a burn with his Scald now. It's doing 32% since the Spidef drop. Here I throw off another Toxic, predicting his Kieran Black on my roost, but yet again he throws off another Toxic, whittling himself down little by little. Here I can finally roost up as my opponent does throw off another Scald. However, I'm in range of Scald plus Burn, so I do have to roost up once again right here as my opponent hard switches into Kieran Black, knowing that I have to roost on that turn. So it's just this long cycle of Kieran Black coming in on my Mana Buzz at the right time and getting a little chip versus the rest of my team. Here it's going to be up against Bronzong, and he reveals leftovers now. I'm not sure if he's revealed that already, but he did reveal it right then. I go for the Gyro Ball as he switches into a Slowbro, takes rocks, Gyro Ball, and toxic damage. So pretty nice there. And I hard switch into my Mana Buzz on the Scald and get a critical hit after taking rocks damage and then taking bird damage. I'm at pretty low, so I do have to roost up once again. And my opponent hard switches into Kieran once again. So never ending cycle here, but now he's in a range, or he's in a position to where once I switch my Bronzong in on him right here, he's actually able to 2-hit KO me. But here he actually chooses to roost up. Excuse me. Still under the weather a little bit. So my opponent chooses to roost up with his Kieran Black, and it's too risky to try to knock me out with Ice Beam here or Dragon Claw. So my opponent actually switches out to his Slowbro and takes another Gyro Ball, a massive 3%. And now switch out to Mana Buzz once again, and I can just roost up once again. The never-ending cycle here. Luckily, Mana Buzz was actually burned. That's pretty good because it prevents poison damage, which is solid in case something may have had toxic. It also prevents a potential freeze if I do have to take an Ice Beam from Kieran Black in this match. It prevents me from being frozen, so that's super dope. So I get back to full here as he brings... Excuse me. I get back to full as he brings in his Kieran Black, and I sack off my Bronzong to the Ice Beam. Now I bring in my Mamoswine, and I can click the superpower here, which is a likely knockout. It's actually more likely to not knock out since he's probably bulky, since he does have the roost. However, it's likely he switches out to Slowbro or Pythagoras, scouting for the superpower. So I'm just going to click the knockoff here. As my opponent goes in hard into the Slowbro, I'm going to be able to knock off his leftovers. And here my opponent can stay in and click slack off or scald. But after another knockoff plus toxic damage, he should faint. So I'm basically trading Slowbro for Mamoswine right here. But I really expect my opponent to double out into Kyurem or Tapu Bulu, expecting my Mandibuzz. So I'm actually going to stay in and click knockoff and get rid of Kyurem's leftovers or whatever item this Bulu might have. And we do get rid of the choice scarf on the Bulu, so super cool play there. What this means is my Tapu Koko actually outspeeds his entire team now, and I can afford to try and win with that Pokemon. So I don't want my opponent to be able to set up here, so I'm actually going to hard switch into my Volcarona, as crazy as that sounds. My opponent goes for the Horn Leech, and it does 21% in the grassy terrain. So, very nice there. We should outpace it here. We did get rid of his Choice Scarf, and we're naturally faster. So we can go right for the Fiery Dance. And we get a special attack boost as the Pythagoras comes in. So, after the special attack boost, the first one did 35%, so this one would have knocked out anyway. But, it means worse for the rest of his team. Since I'm naturally faster than his entire team, he actually has to risk, bringing something else in here and it dying as well. So here I'm at +2 special attack. And he brings in the Kyurem Black, which is going to drop to the Fiery Dance unless he's faster than me. He reveals to not be faster than me, so my speed creep's working out there, and his bulky Kyurem Black not working out as best as it could be. Here he brings in a Slowbro, and I'm just going to click the Bug Buzz here. It will knock out this, and it will knock out the Bulu as well. But he actually reveals Protect, so nice tech there. And I'm going to die to the poison damage, but at this point, Tapu Koko just comes in and clicks Thunderbolt. Oh, we did knock off Bulu's Scarf earlier, and if you remember in my prep, I did bring the Hidden Power Poison, so I'm just going to be able to reveal that here, and then knock out the Slowbro with the Thunderbolt, the Life Orb Thunderbolt. Modest Life Orb Thunderbolt should knock out the Slowbro, even after its regen. And yeah, we're going to be able to pick up a nice 4-0 victory here. With we did have to change our game plan mid-battle well, not mid-battle, but early battle because of the Toxic Spikes, but it worked out. So yeah, very happy about that. I think the team I brought worked out perfectly against the team he brought. And outside of Toxic Spikes, I think my game plan was there. Had I brought Defog or Mandibuzz, it would have been super dope and would have helped Hoopa stay more in control of the match, where I would have been more inclined to try to win with Hoopa instead of Koko. But once the Toxic Spikes went up and I knew I just wouldn't be able to live, Volcarona couldn't set up. My setup mons wouldn't be able to take poison damage and set up, and I knew that Mamoswine, once it took poison damage and a couple rounds of Stealth Rock and having to guess what moves to click, Earthquake or Icicle Crash, predicting the Bulu or the Slowbro coming in or the Heatran, the Donphan, what it might be, or whatever. It just made more sense to finish the game up with Koko after the Toxic Spikes went out, and the Speedy Life Orb boosted modest electric cock here really put in the work, so really happy about that, and really happy to pick up a 4-0 victory. We move on to 3-1 with a +7 differential, where we're looking pretty solid in the standings. Got a long season left ahead of us, but nonetheless we're doing better than we did last season and feeling pretty comfortable with the team at this point in the season. So yeah, let me know what you thought about the battle, the prep on both sides. We are playing, first of all, good game to Noodle and the Toronto Staraptors, and we're playing the Jump City Hitmonlees, coached by Carson, aka Golden Centurion. So yeah, look forward to that next week or so. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.